Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In the last 24, well, not 24, but the last about 14 hours, XRP is down 6.17%. As we see, it's down to 62.8 cents. I came on last night, well, early AM, about 12 a.m., and did a live for about an hour as we were in the midst of the drop. And we talked about a lot of different factors, which we'll go over some this morning. XRP right now, as we know, had a cup and handle. We pushed out of a bullish handle, and now we back tested it right at 61.5 cents. If we do lose 61.5 cents, we've got roughly 58 cents underneath, 55, and then underneath that 52.5. But that's going to take a little bit of work to get down there. I've got a few different angles of charts to look at, including a couple from members of the audience. So this is going to be very exciting here to actually see what's transpiring. We're going to look at this from an urgent standpoint. Yes, XRP is breaking down, but as you can see, it hasn't broken down more than any other cryptos. A lot of cryptos, in fact, are down more than XRP. So this is standard operating procedure here this morning. If it was just XRP doing this, well, then you could say, well, it failed, yada, 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 but this is a market-wide correction. And with Bitcoin, we knew if it couldn't get over 73,700, the realistic opportunity is it would drop down to 66,183 or 263, whatever that exact area is. That is the pivot point. And as long as we hold that, we maintain bullishness. The moment we break that and show it as a resistance, that could be our very destination back down to 59,000 and some change, or back to 55,000, if not more. So what happened with Bitcoin is it once again came through, and we'll discuss this during this live. It hit that pivot level around 66,187. It actually came down a little bit farther, but it managed to hold that pivot point. And now we've entered a very interesting dynamic here. We're right below the squeeze area now. So right now that rising channel resistance is just above us. That's basically going to garner a retest at like 69,230 to see if this pattern is overwhelmingly bearish. So this morning I would expect a lot of people are probably going short right now as they woke up and like, I'm going to catch this for the next leg down. This is where it can get pretty tricky here in Bitcoin. If it is trying to confirm this breakdown, it needs to come up to 69,230 area, test the bottom side of that rising channel as resistance instead of support, and then it could signal a further move down. We'll discuss all those numbers as we get going. But when you wake up this morning, treat this from a point of emotionless positivity. You have to have your mental wherewithal in perfect order this morning, perfect working order. Otherwise, you can get a little negative and you won't see the pattern exactly how it's presenting itself. What we're seeing right now is a prototypical consolidation. It's nothing that we weren't expecting. Yes, 82 cents is still a target, folks. That has not been invalidated. The only way that can get invalidated is if we break down below, and it's around 52 cents. So technically, we could drop all the way down to those levels, and this November of 2021 formation is still fully intact. The only thing we would do is just go down for further consolidation. And as of right now, we still have not been able to power through the 77-month consolidation that has a resistance that we tapped around 75 cents. So now the back test consolidation we're doing, now it's our job to hold these support levels depending on how far we break down. But as of right now, it still looks like Bitcoin likely, even though it looks very bearish this morning, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin had about an 1,100 point rally to 69,200 just to see if we're overtly bearish here. And if we get rejected, then obviously we can open up the door, because then we'd have the technical breakdown from that rising channel, and that puts us down some bit here. So we'll take a look at that as we get into the technical analysis, and we'll also take a look at a user-generated chart that I started to look at yesterday during the live, but I'd like to show everybody here on the update who didn't see the live. So please make sure to hit that like button if you are watching this this update, so that YouTube will recommend this video and allow not just more new users, but older users as well to find their way back to the community. As by you hitting that like button, YouTube recommends this video, and what that means is it shows up in more feeds because it's part of the algorithm. So I thank each and every one of you very much, and a special shout out to the members of Tom's Army. So without further ado, let's start the intro. Good morning, 10:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, March 15th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to thank everybody in here and good morning. So first things first, let's get into XRP. And we've got a lot of things to look at, a couple different charts here. So bear with me this morning as this is going to be very in-depth and this will give you a proper understanding of what's going on this morning. So right now, XRP has fallen below that rising channel resistance again for a fourth time. Now, we talked about this back test. Possibly that could happen because this is exactly what Quant did. It ran out of the cup, broke down into the handle, initially pushed up, and then back tested volatilely as far as before the next move up. So if we look at Quant, what I mean is Quant, we had the initial break up, but then we had a pullback right here. We had a push up, then it pulled all the way back down right here on this wick. So it back tested the outside before it broke out. Now it started breaking down again. The point is before it had a breakup, we had to back test the handle. And that's exactly what XRP is doing right now. But now is that going to appease it? Or are we just going to fall right through because of current economic conditions with Bitcoin and crypto as a whole? So we had to back test this. We know if we fall through this, we could come all the way back down to 52.6 cents roughly. And still be able to stay within this formation. It's just, we're back testing. And if you break through this, that's how you open up the door to bigger drops. And just to be transparent, let's just say worst case scenario, because this did fall out right now. If we back test this as resistance, and that's what we talked about last night at 63.16. If we back test this, this could very well fall out in the technical target somewhere around 54.6. It could be even lower than that, but at least the first initial target here is around that 56.5 cent area. But technically, you should come back down to the bottom of that channel if it has to again, and that's right around 53.2 cents. We fell out, but now we have to see if this turns into a W reversal as we came down to 59.5 cents. So that's what we're looking at right now with XRP, the short-term formation that we fell out of. And this was created after a rejection at 66.6 cents. This would be the repercussions here. So now if we get rejected, we know we're looking at quite another leg down here. We're looking at another about 12% if it does reject here. Now if it gets back into the channel, and we do have a rally by Bitcoin and such, there is a chance to come back up to the top. But I'm going to make this as easy as I can for everybody. If XRP does not come back up and break and retake 70 cents, this is signifying we went from wave 3 to wave 4 as far as the wick-off accumulation or the wick-off goes. And this would go from wave 3 to wave 4, and that could be as volatile down as like 52, 48 cents even. 48 cents would make a lot of sense in the wick-off if it wanted to come down and get a lot of motivation for the next push up. From wave 3 to 4, the corrective wave, but the impulse on 5 is going to be greater than the second wave, or greater than the third wave. So it should be a bigger move up on wave 5, but this wave 4, if you're looking at the wick off, which I don't show, but I have a nice understanding of it. If this is wave 4 now and we corrected from wave 3 and we're coming down, 48 to 52 cents should be expected. And then if you can do that, you should have a volatile swing up on wave 5 to complete it. So we'll see what happens here. But we have a lot going for us and some going against us only because we're in the consolidatory zone. Once Bitcoin did what we anticipated, because we know the technical target, what it was, but once it came to 73,700, we took that pivot point off of the map now. But once it came up there, we knew if it rotated around, or 73,700, if it couldn't get above there, and this is where we had it right here. That was the pivot level. And then we said if it went above, then obviously you come up to the top of this channel. But with what's going on now, I suppose somebody could say we're starting to form like a wedge or a rising wedge. But anyhow, that's just debatable because this rising channel, at least it's coming up. It's going to back test it. And if it breaks down and we don't get back above 69,000, we'll call it 69,400 in recent moment or movement, that could be a big problem. So I created that line, the dotted line, because that essentially puts you between that downtrending resistance or uptrending resistance now. That used to be a support, but it also puts you in between the pivot point where you kind of go a little volatile here. And then if you break down, you break down. So if we break down, the next target 60,000 or 59,000 area. So just be aware. Be aware just in case it breaks down. Obviously, you could hold some smaller levels that we came into support earlier last night with. But as of right now, if we do break down, that's a pretty big drop. The XRP Bitcoin pairing continues to favor Bitcoin. Not saying that this couldn't rotate around. It's just if this plays out as a head and shoulders now, you would anticipate this to come back to the bottom and probably come down. It's probably going to come down if it continues going. However, this is a nice consolidation. It's just with the recent environment. Is this ready to do this? Or is it ready to swing up and double top? I mean, one can speculate that maybe it's starting to swing around. But until it breaks up with the environment we have, you know, if we continue to push down, we could very well start to break down in the XRP Bitcoin pairing as well. But this is all going to be dependent on what XRP does here this morning. All dependent. Does Bitcoin get rejected on a push up if it does come up to 69,200? And does XRP get rejected on a very critical resistance right now? And this is very critical. If we start losing this where we're at right now and this gets rejected, you got a big drop coming. It's like 12%. You got a 12% drop back to that 55-cent area, approximately. So that's what it looks like is setting up. But at the same time, we had such a drop yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up taking out some of the shorts right now. But let's just see, because if we don't get any kind of volatility to the upside and any kind of buying pressure, this is going to fall off real quick. Just like I said yesterday at 66.6 cents, if we break down, it's going to be a quick drop. There's nothing sustainable about trying to make a rally. It's going to be a quick drop. Just like today. If you push up, it'll be a quick push up. But if you drop, it's going to be even faster. It's just we are forming somewhat of a rising push down in the rising RSI as far as the way it's set up. So you could have some extreme volatility. Extreme volatility. Looking at a couple other charts that I wanted to look at. This right now. And we'll look at different ones on the live today. So make sure you tune in at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for now, this one makes a lot of sense to what I'm trying to show. We've got buy orders underneath in these zones. So we already know we came through some of the buy orders that were at 64, 63. Now we hit the buy order at 62. The main ones I'm looking at are around 61. And then these ones at 59, 57. We've got some down at 56, 54, 55 area. So if we went all the way down to the order book, that would show a nice confluency here. As you know, we broke down from this little setup. And we went down to the order book. We came up when we couldn't quite push out of the sell orders. And now we're coming down. So when you can't find proper buyers, when you go up higher in price, now you have no choice but to have a sale in the store. So assume XRP is a store. This is XRP Incorporated. We have buyers that were buying when the price was at 72 to 74, 75 cents, but we ran out of buyers. Now we have a low levels of buyers saying, man, they're buying at about 10 to 12%, maybe 20% overvalued. So we're going to start stacking up where we can buy this at 64, 65 cents. And you got other people saying, no, it's only good around 61. Then you got the other people that are saying, no, we're waiting for clearance. There's a lot of us sitting here at 54 to 57, so we think they're going to tap our liquidity. Or they're going to at least give us a shot. Now, that's the dangerous area to say it's going to come way down there. But there's still a lot of liquidity to be had. So that's where the buy orders are stacking up. Now, when you couple that with the fact that we are on a handle formation, that we did bust out, and then we found ourselves coming right back down. So this is how it looked before we broke out. This is how it looked before it broke out. And now you can see some of the lower areas that if we do come back, because this was prior to the breakout, you can see some lower support here on the handle if we were to break down at 52.5, even though it busted out, because that's what ends up starting to happen with these formations. So there's one more thing I want to show as well while I'm doing this. Okay, so now this is an updated interpretation here. So we had major resistance around 74 to 77 cents, as you can see highlighted in red. Then if you come down below to the support base, you had 66.7 and 62.5. Right now we're bouncing off the 62.5 cent support base. But as we know, if we fall through, we've got another base that we're trying to pick up at 57, 52, and 51. So we have to pay attention to these areas. This is exactly where the money orders were flowing. So we've checked off two boxes here at 66 and 62 support zones. But like I said, we're looking for sale prices here as some are not looking to buy in that 74 to 77 cent area, and we did not get the major volume that we needed to push through that major resistance. So now as we start coming back down, we start to look at the fact that July 13, 2023, we have a high trend line around 57. We've got June 18, 2022, low trend line around 51, 52. So we're presuming if we do break down that those are major areas, and we did start breaking down after this chart was put together, but there's major presumption here that XRP needs to bust down. And you can see with the indicator below, we started to form like an ascending triangle, which are bearish reversals. So this made perfect sense to come back down. Now it's just a matter of how far do we come. We've got 3 more support zones we could tap at 57, 52, and 51. The rest of them we've tapped. But this is where a bunch of the buy orders are in. So it's just we have to pay attention. So pay attention to this. We had the cup, the low handle support, the breakout. Now we have all these support zones we can tap before a further move. And then to invalidate this, you would have to break the low support at about 51 cents and push down. Then you could invalidate this little structure. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. And the time span in between the cups was 245 days it took. So it took 245 days from that initial cup to be built for the cup to be finished. So that's roughly how long it took. I believe that's pretty accurate. Or it's just going to say the time span up until now has been 245 days. That makes sense. But yeah, so I just wanted everybody to see that. It's kind of, it puts a lot more emphasis on other things except just in what I'm showing on these charts. So there's a lot more to look at. We know we have the accumulation zones below. And it would make sense on a rejection here. If we got rejected, how we get down into those demand zones or supply zones. So hopefully that interpretation helps everybody. If we look at the XRP market cap as this update, I'm getting ready to upload because I want you guys to all see this. But real quickly, while I have your attention, let's look at the XRP market cap. It's sitting above 33.96 billion. That's a big pivot point that if we stay below, it would have continued to push us down. There is a small chance here that we could have a nice corrective wave up here. A small one, even if that. But there is a chance that even if we're rejected, we could come up to 36.5 billion in the XRP market cap. And that could very well bring us, I don't know if it'll bring us all the way up to a retest, but it very well could bring us back to retest that 67 cent level if we show any upward momentum. Otherwise, it's very loud and clear what's going to happen this morning if we get rejected. If XRP gets rejected here, we're going down to the support zone around 57, 55, and then maybe even 51 cents. The technical target on a breakdown here, if we cannot break 60, what is this right now? 60. If you can't break 63 cents and hold, the technical target is a 12% drop to 55.3 cents. So for anybody watching, if 63 cents fails, that's the technical move. And you're looking for a Bitcoin, as we talked about at the opening, when it was at 67,800. We're looking for Bitcoin to at least retest here at around 69,400 before any further breakdown to see if we are in fact bearish. So this could be the short trap right now. Anybody going short already, when they woke up, now they're going to be like, what the hell is going on? It's starting to go up right away. And that's just the way they set things up. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this morning update, please make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can see not only future update shorts, but also the lives. As we hit 20,800 subscribers about 48 hours ago, and now we're within 10 subscribers of 20,900. So it's been an incredible show of support here the last couple of days as well. If you're looking to show me personal support, you can always join Tom's Army or send one YouTube super chat per month is all I ask to pay it forward for the extraordinary amount of time I do put in. And then if you're looking to trade XRP in this high time of volatility, or you're like, I want to capitalize if it does come down to 51, 53, or even 57 in those supply zones, make sure you look in the video description below and or pinned comments. There's BITUNIX. They're in the USA, Canada, trading license in USA in 22, Canada 24. They're in the UK, Australia, across the world. Heard good things about it from the audience now in the comments. They don't have a VPN. You don't need to use a VPN. No KYC if you're not sending money from your bank or depositing into your bank. And you don't need to use a VPN, so don't feel like a criminal to trade XRP because I am not using an exchange that makes me use a VPN because I am not breaking the law here. So I'm going to buy XRP legally without a VPN. Other than that, they have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA, and I can only speak on the USA because that's where I live. The rest would be fun. And go on a site that stays up in the high times of volatility, unlike Uphold, Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, and all the rest. They always go down in high times of volatility. Not this site. Not BITUNIX. Was up perfectly in 23 in July when we had a 94% run. And it's been up in the entirety of this entire move up and down. So make sure you give that a shot. Other than that, please share this on social media in the comments. If you made it until the end, hit hashtag be better, do better. Stay emotionless, folks. This is a very big play on our emotional standing right now.